Talking to Luisa about yoga was so informative. She's been practicing yoga for many years and really has a lot of great detailed information. What I love learning the most was breathing techniques.
My name is Luisa. I am Colombian, but I live in Belgium since 2001. So I've been 20 years living in this country at the other side of the ocean. And I've been practicing yoga since I was a child. In a more serious way, when I was living here in Belgium, I did a teacher training that took me 4 years. It's a very long integral yoga teacher training, very deep, very complete. And then I went to India, and then my journey started.
What do you think is the most useful tool that you found in yoga?
When you practice yoga, you get such an attunement with your whole body and a good connection and consciousness. You become much more aware. You learn how to breathe. So pranayama exercises are also very, very helpful. You learn easy to implement healthy habits into your life.
If there's only one pose that you could do, what would it be?
So that would be definitely the warrior pose.
That
One
is
or
my
two.
favorite.
Yeah, it is. It is a. It's a pose or a posture and asana that gives so much from everything. It gives you strength, it gives you focus, it gives you determination, and it gives you this sense of being a warrior. And a warrior is not in the sense of being in war or fighting, but or conflict, but in the sense of being ready. Being focused, being there for whatever lives. That's what I say to my students in warrior. So you were there, like facing what life is giving, and it's putting into your path. So that's the warrior. That's one posture, and the other would be any balance posture, like a tree pose or something like that, because it gives me the opportunity to really focus on my breath and on myself. So for example, when I am calling as a service client of any company where I have to client service of any company where I have to wait and wait and wait, and I have this annoying music, dentist music, and I start to lose it. Then I go into a tree pose, and I have to focus on me, on being on balance in a balanced posture, that I will just forget that I am 10 minutes on a phone. Or when someone is getting, like discussing to me, for my son, for example, comes and fight, blah, 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 whatever, I go automatically into a balanced posture. So I just get here and now, and I'm dealing with me keeping balance, and not the drama of someone is throwing at me. So any balance posture or any warrior pose would be my to go pose.
I teach Tai Chi,
Yeah.
and in Tai Chi we do just a couple of warm-ups that are balance pose. And I feel like I breathe differently when I'm trying to balance. Do you feel that way as
Sure,
well?
sure, because you have to keep, but always there is not a struggle, but there is always the homework, let's say, or the thing is to really get in a flow with the breath, because sometimes that's what we do when we are facing difficulties in the posture. We tend to stop breathing. If you want to keep the breathing, then you to keep the posture, to hold it, so so what I always say is breathe through it, breathe through it, breathe through it, because if we stop breathing, then yeah, maybe we might have some longer balance, but we are doing a whole unbalancing in the meantime. So then it takes more time to recover when you start breathing again. So yeah, it's always breathing through the posture, which is also what you do in life. When you are going through a problem, or when you are facing a problem, it's better to go through it, breathe through it, and be in it. At whatever what it is, you go through it. You cannot avoid it. and by stopping breathing, we kind of close ourselves and avoid it. So just go through it. And
A few years ago, I went to a hotel that was high up in the mountains, about 11,000 feet above sea level. And I was so depressed. I was so like crying all the time. And it was a beautiful place. And I was so happy to be there. And I would just couldn't stop crying. And I did some research and I realized that the higher that you go, the less oxygen that you get. And so the
yes.
less serotonin is made in your brain. And so practicing the breathing and really learning how to breathe, I think is important for depression and anxiety and fatigue and insomnia as
Yes.
well, isn't it?
So yes, of course, breathing exercises are pranayama is the name of the science of breath, and they help you enormously to reduce stress, fatigue, depression, because it is related with your nervous system. So there are also different ways of breathing, and depending on what you want, um, you have different options. For example, I will give you a very nice gold nugget here. If you want to awake your energy, if you want to feel much more alive, if you are like having those days that it's difficult for you to go through the day and you need energy because you need to focus, then you can close your left nostril and only breathe through your right nostril for about 3 to 5 minutes, or even longer if you want. You just breathe in and out through the right. On the other hand, if you want to go to sleep, and it's difficult for you to fall asleep, and you are like all over the place and you really want to sleep and you can't, then you close your right nostril and you breathe through the left, and that will help you. So it's amazing how magic our body is, that even those little tips will help tremendously. For example, that's why when you fall asleep, it is much better that you lay on your right side, because that's the way that your left nostril will be more free to breathe. That's why you fall asleep easier on your right side. So when you see a baby that is just born baby, a baby, they know how to. We breathe naturally when we are babies, and that's an abdominal breath. So the belly goes bigger when you inhale and goes in when you exhale. At some point in our life, we learn, I don't know if it's school, in gymnastic class or what, that they say inhale and then it goes like like here. So this goes in and out, and that's different. So it's the whole. So we learn afterwards to first feel that hearing and then the belly, and it's the whole. And singers, they know how to breathe. Singers, they know is first the belly, then the diaphragm, and then your chest. That's the correct way of breathing. And actually, when you see someone sleeping, it will be that way. We always turn back to natural. We always go back to breathing the way we are meant to breathe. But over day, I don't know why we just change it. And
I've
when you just get back into your breath, like if you are having difficulties to focus, if you are speaking with someone and you are all over the place, again, you just come back to your breath, and that will bring you immediately to the here and the now.
I've heard that not getting enough breath, not getting enough oxygen when you're sleeping can also lead to anxiety.
Like apnea, for example, like when you are not breathing, when you are not breathing fully, or when you are breathing too superficially, or when you are sometimes even not breathing, like like when what you just mentioned, it will uh, it will affect your well-being in any, like for example, you're not going to to be rested when you wake up. You're not going to be like you're going to feel drained and tired because you couldn't go to a very deep sleep. That's going to happen anyway. And of course, you are not getting enough oxygen, so you are not processing. Your metabolism is not going to be like, functioning properly, because that's why it's so important to have your between 7 and 9 hours of sleep, because that's the moment where all the processes in your body are, like taking place, like your body is working, and you are like integrating everything from the day into your sleep, into your body. So therefore it's breathing so important, and if you are not able to breathe properly, then all those processes will be not complete. So
If you're breathing properly throughout the day, do you think that that goes into your sleeping time, that you're breathing better when you sleep?
absolutely, breathing consciously will help you to for everything, not only in your sleep, but throughout your day, and in your health is going to improve your health in a very, very deep way.
What is the number one reason someone should try yoga?
I think any practice that bring people to better place of calmness and tranquility and peace of mind, it's a great practice. But again, it's a whole process. Is movement, is breathing, is awareness, and all this. Yoga is not a trend. Yoga is a way of life, and it's a way of living, and it's a science. It's a scientifically proved that it works. So yeah, it's so. I always say yoga is 10% in the mat and 90% outside, on street, with your relationships, your words, your food, your daily life. That's where yoga really happens. For me, yoga in the mat, yeah, on the mat, that happens 10%. The rest is. So that's how I compare, or I can relate a yoga posture, like a tree pose, into a daily life. And you can find those analogies in yoga with other situations in life as well.
So yoga is how you live. It's not just something that you practice every now and then.
I
It
know
is your lifestyle.
it is my lifestyle. I couldn't imagine my life without it.
I'm very grateful to Luisa and the time she spent sharing this information. Please check out her website and her Facebook page. And thanks for meeting us here at 5th and Overland.